Before every club soccer game, I complete the same basic routine. Initially, I walk over to my team, sit on the bench, and put on my spikes. Once my team dons the appropriate attire, we go into the field and begin warming up. We complete stretches, running, passing, and shooting in order to prepare for the game. Soon after, the referee will call for captains, and we begin to organize for the game. The team gathers around the coach, who gives its talk, and it usually concludes with the team joining in and saying something like, "Let's get this W, boys." Before finally running onto the field, I grab my water bottle and take a sip and squirt it on my spikes near my heel. This sequence has been a part of my game day repertoire since our first tournament win. In my first tournament, it was the championship game, and I had just gotten new spikes, so I squirted water on them to break them in. During that game, I ended up scoring the game-winning goal and began squirting water on my spikes before every game after that. This tradition has now continued for 6 years. I continue to squirt water on my spikes before each game. While this does not directly correlate with a win, it has become a game day ritual and a personal superstition. Most people practice superstitions that have become a part of their way of life. Superstitions have an involved history and play a role in Greek mythology and the Renaissance. There are many common superstitions. In this, I will discuss the history of superstitions, their effect on people's religion and psychological mindset. According to WebMD.com, a symptom of OCD are superstitions. And lastly, I will discuss some great athletes who use superstitions for examples. Before I explain my points, let me knock on wood and hope for the best. Superstitions have originated from a number of cultures and are thought to bring good or bad luck as dictated by the tale associated with the act. The dictionary defines a superstition as irrational fear of what is unknown or mysterious. In some cultures, people follow superstitions in fear of the unknown. Other superstitions are habitually completed, and some superstitions are performed without even realizing that they are in fact superstitions. Most people can relate to the following types of superstitions. Some examples of fearful superstitions include breaking mirrors, walking under ladders, and opening an umbrella indoors. These superstitions born from fear have an interesting and colorful history. Many feel that the act of breaking a mirror brings 7 years of bad luck. The origin of this mirror superstition is that people believe that a mirror reflected one's soul. Thus, by breaking a mirror, the soul is being harmed. Similarly, walking under a ladder is also an act that causes misfortune. People view the two sections of a ladder as a symbol of the Trinity, as it makes a triangle with the ground. This representation of the three persons of one God is considered bad luck when walked under or through. Walking through and under this ladder was considered disrespectful to the Trinity. Therefore, one who would walk through or under the ladder was entering a league with the devil. Lastly, people feel that it's unlucky to open an umbrella while indoors. The origin of this is that an umbrella is intended to protect people from the storms of life. By opening it in your house, they believe spirits and guardians of the house would assume their protection was insufficient. The spiritual guardians would then leave the house, casting a curse on it. These superstitions are designed to protect people from experiencing bad luck. Other superstitions have become integral parts of our culture, and people perform these superstitions without any true understanding of their background. Two examples of these superstitions are the knocking on wood and throwing salt over your left shoulder. The salt superstition has existed since the time of the Renaissance period, as depicted in Da Vinci's famous painting, The Last Supper. During the Middle Ages, salt was a precious and expensive item. It was used for many things, including medical purposes. Thus, following the spillage of the salt ritual, you are supposed to throw the salt over your left shoulder. By throwing the salt over your left shoulder, you are throwing it at the evil spirits and keeping sickness away. Similarly, people are repeatedly told to knock on wood after telling some good but vulnerable news. The act of knocking on wood originated because trees were considered to be houses of God. To have and keep from jinxing luck, people would knock on wood to represent God's house. This was equated with knocking on the house of God and asking Him to bring you good luck. While people know these are superstitions, they do not know their background. There are even other superstitions performed daily without even realizing that they are in fact superstitions. It can be assumed that at some point in everyone's life, they have responded, "God bless you," to a person sneezing. What most may not know about this common act is that this is actually a superstitious deed. After hearing someone exclaim, "Achoo!" someone usually replies, "God bless you." The sneezer will then respond with a simple thank you. However, they should be thanking the person who says "God bless you" much more than simply being polite. The saying "God bless you" is a superstition developed in the 6th century. A sneeze was believed to be the expelling of evil spirits, and they believed that these evil spirits could even take someone's soul with them and take them out of your body. By saying "God bless you," it was believed that you would trap the soul in someone's body and save them from the evil spirits. This is one of the most common and least known superstitions there are. There are a number of superstitions that people perform each day, as evidence in some of these common superstitions. They are commonly based on religion, folklore, and or psychology. Superstitions can often be confused with religion and even considered to be religious customs. Many people believe that religion is just one big organized superstition. During the Reformation, Martin Luther accused the Catholic Pope of being superstitious, which is considered a sin in the Catholic religion. In ancient Greek and Roman religion, which is based on mythology and folklore, they would despise someone who was afraid of the gods, and they would call them superstitious, which is similar to the definition of the fear of the unknown or mysterious. Superstitions, however, are dependent upon culture and beliefs. Those who live in a Catholic area will view superstitions differently from people who live in a place such as Nepal. Because of some of these beliefs, superstitions are often replaced with folk beliefs. There are many folk beliefs about Yetis and Bigfoot, which people believe in Nepal. People who believe in these creatures are commonly considered superstitious. Additionally, superstitions also have a psychological background to them. According to WebMD.com, superstitions can be a sign of a psychological disorder. The certain psychological disorder it points towards is obsessive compulsive disorder, or OCD. People with OCD tend to repeat rituals and such that are similar to superstitions. People seem to believe that superstitions influence events by changing the likelihood of currently possible outcomes, rather than by creating new possible outcomes. In sporting events, for example, a lucky ritual or object is thought to increase the chance that the team or an athlete will perform better and win. Rather than increasing their overall ability in the sport, they follow superstitions to increase their ability. Consequently, people whose goal is to perform well are more likely to rely on supernatural assistance. Lucky items and rituals then are people whose goal is to improve their skills and abilities and learn in the same context. There are many professional athletes that follow superstitions during the regular season and especially during the playoffs. One of the greatest and most honored athletes of all time wore his college basketball shorts under his NBA shorts in every game. The 5-time MVP and 6-time NBA championship, Michael Jordan relied on superstitions. That's right, he would wear his North Carolina shorts under his NBA shorts in every single NBA game. Serena Williams, one of the greatest female tennis players of all times, follows a specific routine in every match. Serena Williams has even ties her shoes in a certain way before her matches. Serena Williams has even blamed big losses on not following her routine correctly. Lastly, NHL goaltender Patrick Roy was a very superstitious player, but he was also a 3-time Conn Smythe Trophy winner and 4-time Stanley Cup champion. During the games, he would repeatedly talk to the post, and before the games, he would skate backwards towards the goal and turn around at the last second. He believes that these rituals would help him to win and play better in the game. Superstitions have a very psychological effect on people. Instead of trying to improve themselves, they rely on these superstitions, such as these professional athletes. Superstitions have very interesting histories and psychological effects. Superstitions also relate to the religion of a person. Superstitions may seem a little weird, but if they're going to give you some good luck, you might as well try them.